I love a thin watch, and I also love an automatic watch, but automatic watches aren't often this thin. This is the Mudita Element, a fully automatic Swiss watch that is under 8mm thick. Welcome back to the channel. Before we start, full disclosure, Mudita sent me this watch for review and I don't have to send it back, hence the paid promotion tag, but the brand hasn't had any copy approval and they're seeing this at the same time as you are. For more unbiased reviews, click the subscribe button. Now, I love the Bulgari Octo Finissimo. It's a weird, logic-defying watch that I'll never own because I'm poor, and it's a bit too esoteric for my tastes. But my god, it is thin, crack addict thin, and that's where this Mudita shines as well. Design-wise, it's got absolutely nothing in common with the Octo Finissimo, okay, I admit that, but the Mudita Element is just 7.85mm thick and is made from grade 2 titanium. The diameter is 39mm, it's got a nice compact 41.5mm lug to lug, it's got 20mm lugs, and on the Cactus vegan leather strap weighs just 42 grams. So 39mm in diameter on paper, but it wears more like a 40 or a 41 because it's got really slim bezels and it's basically all dial. But on my 6.5-inch wrist, you can see that even if it does wear a little bigger than the 39mm diameter suggests, the super slim profile and the compact lug to lug ensure that it never feels like a big watch when you're wearing it. It'll slip under a cuff, and this strap is super supple and extremely comfortable. To be honest, it's one of the most comfortable straps I've ever tried. There's been no breaking in period whatsoever. There are a few different strap options too, but I'm really happy with this one. The most impressive element of the element, though, is the movement. Inside the super slim case is the automatic Sellita SW300-1, which has a 56-hour power reserve and has been regulated to run at tolerances of plus or minus 5 seconds per day, which is basically COSC. Given the super early bird price of €599, which is roughly $645 or 515 quid, it is very impressive. That is the super early bird price though. It's a Kickstarter campaign and that's 40% off the final RRP. So if you want one of these, get in fast. Links in the description and all that. So it's an automatic, but you won't necessarily be able to tell at first glance because there's no tick in second hand. The numerals and minute track are printed, and up close, this dial is more interesting than the Bauhaus reminiscent design would have you believe. The numerals are rounded but extremely crisply printed, and the dial is an almost silvery colour. The dead flat sapphire crystal has 3 layers of AR coating, but I did assume it was actually more. You sometimes look at it and it looks like there's no glass there at all. While the dial might be more complicated than at first glance, the grade 2 titanium finish is extremely simple, which is the whole Mudita vibe essentially. It's about simplicity, minimalism. Look, it says so on the box. The ultimate timepiece for the mindful minimalist, which I don't think necessarily describes watch enthusiasts. For example, us watch enthusiasts, we like a logo. Mudita have gone for ultimate minimalism and all the branding on the watch case is on the case back. On the buckle, the Mudita logo is on the underside, which is a nice touch. I think even a subtly embossed logo though on the dial would add something without taking away the minimalist aesthetic. I think the fact it's Swiss made is amazing given this is a relatively new brand, but again, this is only mentioned on the back of the watch. While I admire that dedication to the whole minimalist aesthetic, I think I would like to see Swiss made somewhere on the dial. After all, given the impressive specs, this is going to appeal to enthusiasts more than the average person who's shopping for a minimalist watch. One other change I'd consider if there was another version of it would be a seconds hand. And I know I'm cluttering the dial and potentially making it thicker, and the thinness is something that I really love about it, but just hear me out. Okay, so you take the rotor away from the Sellita movement to counteract the need for a potentially thicker case, and then you can accommodate that second hand, and then you get the added mindfulness experience of winding the crown every few days. Obviously, I'm not technically minded, so I don't know the ins and outs of whether that would be possible or how feasible it would be, but I think it would add a kind of extra mindfulness element to the element. And look, you can let me know in the comments if a second hand would appeal to more watch enthusiasts or not. Overall, I actually think that Mudita have done a great job with this. Its minimalist look isn't going to be for everyone, obviously, but that's okay because it's a limited run of 700. If you don't mind backing a Kickstarter campaign and you want something that really does feel like you're not wearing a watch at all, this is it. For that 515 quid roughly, the solid finishing, a stunning crystal and a barely perceptible case profile. It's all packaged nicely and has the Swiss-made seal of quality, plus an almost COSC certified movement. Almost. But COSC certification would be overkill, right? And this is minimalism. So that is the Mudita Element. If you're interested in one of these and you want to back the Kickstarter campaign, there's a link in the description below. Many thanks to Mudita for sending this in for review, and most importantly, thank you for watching. If you're still not bored of my face, click one of these two videos. I'll see you next time.